Hi there, my name is Joel A. Sutherland. I'm the author of the best-selling Haunted Canada series, and over the course of 13 days, I'm doing a different video telling you what the scariest location I've ever written about in every province and territory is. So for today's video, we're going to Nova Scotia, and Story in Haunted Canada 4. This is called Dining with the Dead, and you'll see that in the picture that starts off this story, there's a man who's wiping down a counter when he looks up and sees a reflection of another man standing right behind him, even though there's nobody actually over his shoulder. Now I'm going to get to this restaurant in just a moment, but first I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of the building. It was actually opened in 1817, and it was a schoolhouse back then. It was a schoolhouse for quite some time until in 1883 things took a certain macabre turn when the schoolhouse was turned into the John Snow and Company funeral home. And it wasn't too long before it saw its fair share of tragedy come through the doors, because on April 14th, 1912, the RMS Titanic struck an iceberg and there were over 1,500 people died. Most of the bodies ended up at the John Snow funeral home. So it wasn't even that much longer after that when the Halifax Explosion occurred on December 6, 1917. Two ships collided in Halifax Harbor, and one of them was carrying a lot of ammunition, and it created such a big explosion that it decimated an entire district in Halifax. From this incident, there were 2,000 victims and 9,000 injuries. This was actually the largest man-made explosion at the time. So most of these bodies as well were taken to the John Snow funeral home. This is why many people to this day believe this building to be haunted. And as I said at the beginning, it's now a restaurant, so you can go eat with the dead. In 1975, it became the Five Fisherman Restaurant, and many staff have reported seeing and hearing and smelling things that are completely unexplainable. So much so that I could almost write an entire book just about this location. People would see things fly off of tables and shelves all the time. Cutlery would sail through the restaurant. Glasses would fling off of the bar all on their own. A lot of staff often hear their names called out, even though nobody else is in the building with them at the time. Many as well have seen a misty gray human shape floating through the halls of the restaurant. One person even saw the misty gray shape floating outside one of the restaurant's windows on the second floor, where nobody could possibly be standing outside. And other people have actually seen a more human-looking ghost, like in that picture that started this whole story that I showed you from Haunted Canada 4. That was actually a time when somebody that worked there happened to look into the mirror and saw this old man, very tall, with a big bushy gray beard and wearing old-fashioned clothing, staring back at him. When he turned, there was nobody there. It's not just the staff, though, that have had eerie occurrences in the restaurant. There was one really particularly compelling case where a group of diners were texting some friends while they were waiting for their meal to come out, and the friends who were not in the restaurant at the time received only one word from everything that was typed, and that was the word in all caps, death. Very ominous. And probably one of the scariest things that has ever happened there was one night when it was really busy. One of the servers was bringing some food out to one of her tables, and all of a sudden she was slapped super hard right across her face. But there was nobody around her, so she thought that she must have just imagined it somehow. She carried on, delivered the food, and went back into the kitchen when one of her co-workers saw her face and gasped. When the woman looked in the mirror, she saw a big, bright, angry red mark in the shape of a hand on her face. It was unmistakable that somebody had slapped her, even though nobody had been near her when it happened. So that's one of the creepiest places I've ever covered in the province of Nova Scotia. I hope you're enjoying these videos, and I'll see you when the next one is posted. Take care.